We're live. We're live right now. Yeah, good. I cut all this out anyways. It's fine. We're good. I'm good right now. Yeah, I think I'm.
All right. And we are. You guys are in the wrong spots.
God.
It's alright. I can change that.
It's fine.
Did you ever update the title, Jeff?
Yes, I did.
Okay. It still said Just Doodle for me. Oh, there we go.
Did I spell your name right, Woozi?
Yeah, you're good.
All right.
OMG, hey.
And we are live. What is going on, everybody? Thanks for coming to our channel and checking us out. This is what, episode 3? Episode
Officially
3.0.
episode 3, yeah.
Very cool. I'm going to shut this music off. All right. So we got a lot to talk about today.
We do.
We do have a special guest.
We do.
Woozi, also known to us as Aaron.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in charge of our Discord server moving forward. He helped us get it all set up. Things are starting to come to light and look pretty organized. So without him, we wouldn't have that going, that's for sure. And we also lean on him for a lot of advice and technical issues, logos, Streamlab stuff, things like that. So he's pretty intelligent, and I'm very happy to have him on board with us. And of course, you know, it's me, White Dragon 6MG, and JJ does everything tonight.
Hello.
Very cool.
Yeah.
We got lots to talk about. We have some news. The Mortal Kombat movie's coming out.
Yeah.
I know this game series is over 2 decades old. I think it's on year 23 now.
That sounds about right.
It's actually being produced in Australia, and something interesting about that, it's the largest film ever in production for South Australia. It's expected to raise a bunch of jobs. I mean, I have an exact number of 580 jobs, but you know how that goes. Probably 590, probably 565, something like that. And 70 million AUD. AUD is the Australian, you know, abbreviation for their money. Is going to get poured into the local economy. Production is starting later this month. It's been in development a long time. It's directed by an Australian commercial director, Simon McQuoid, and this is his directorial debut with this project. Aquaman director James Wan is also producing. I mean, if you guys know anything about Mortal Kombat, they have amazing cinematography in their video games. I know their new video game, was it Mortal Kombat 11 or something?
Yeah.
It has over 3 hours of cinematography and just like movie scenes and cut scenes and stuff like that. So that's going to be pretty cool. Have you guys ever played the Mortal Kombat series?
I have when I was a kid.
Yeah, I played a little bit. We have our friend Sunbro, or Will. I don't even know what his Twitch is. But Wilhelm Gaming, that's his Twitch. Who is absolutely addicted to it, and he's actually like top 5 in the world. I think still is at the moment. Yeah, he's going insane right now. Hey, Charlie's
Oh, hey, Charlie. I'd be real excited to get back into Mortal Kombat, but I would be mashing buttons for a very long time until I picked it up. I don't remember being phenomenal at it, you know, in some of the early series. I do, you know, really... I want to see like the finishing moves and the fatalities and things like that, and see if they keep some of the older characters.
I'm really nervous about the movie. Did you guys growing up ever watch the original Mortal Kombat movie that came out?
In the
Probably in like
90s, right?
Yeah.
I
that.
definitely
So
did, but
so bad.
I don't
I
remember it being good at all. Yeah.
No, it was really bad, and I hope that they have a better storyline lined up for this movie, strictly because that movie had zero plot, and it was just, hey, let's just throw characters at each other and they fight, and that's it. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, so they probably learned their lesson, I hope. You
I,
know,
I would hope.
although
No.
it's pretty much a new director in terms of his first movie is going to be the Mortal Kombat film. So
Yeah.
I
But
guess
you also have if you have the Aquaman director, if he's producing it. I saw Aquaman. I didn't see it in theaters, but I like watched it on iTunes. It wasn't bad. It was pretty good. Like I don't even like DC movies. I'm such a hardcore Marvel fanboy, especially with all the Marvel movies and Endgame, which we'll discuss later. Um, yeah. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know. Video game movies are notoriously known for usually being kind of bad.
I can't remember
Um,
the last one that came out that was actually relatively decent. Maybe the Assassin's Creed movie, but even then it wasn't
yeah, it was probably the better ones. Like there's the Tomb Raiders with Angelina Jolie, the new Tomb Raider movie, which wasn't necessarily bad. I mean, it was just like Indiana Jones, but
I'm a
Tomb
fan of
Raider and
those
Lara
movies.
Croft. Yeah, I like them. I always liked the adventure movies. I was super excited. Supposedly, they were making an Uncharted movie. And Uncharted is like my favorite, like kind of series in video games. You know, they're PlayStation exclusives and they're super dope. And there's like a short movie with Nathan Fillion, and that's really cool. It's like a
Uncharted is like a
15-minute.
movie in itself. I watched
It
somebody do a
is.
playthrough recently, and I was thoroughly entertained by the
Yeah, that's the thing.
gameplay,
That's the nice
by
thing
the
about like,
cutscenes.
you can play it and be absolutely thrilled to play it. But I've watched it too, and you can watch it like a movie pretty much, and it's great. I've always thoroughly loved Uncharted. I'm the type of guy that I don't mind sometimes playing like those cinematic games like Uncharted, or the people that go see a Michael Bay action movie and watch explosions for 3 hours and go brain dead. Like, you know, who loves a good old like Indiana Jones like action film kind of thing?
They're a lot less stressful. It's a lot easier to dump a ton of time into it, and it actually feels kind of relaxing. But then you still are challenged too, and you might get stuck at a part here and there. But at least like you don't have to worry about dying, too
Right.
easily, or yeah, it's not like a PvP style game where it's like high stress. You have to be on high alert at all times. You can kind of take your time through some of these challenges and kind of puzzles and jumps and things like that. And yeah, no, I'd be looking forward to the Mortal Kombat movie for sure. Just to at the very least to check it out. Like get in the know and see you know what came of this long anticipated re-release or answer to their first failure in the 90s.
Mm.
But moving right along, I guess, we have some news on Fortnite. Season 9 is out. I guess the big drama with that is that they vaulted the pump shotgun in all of its variants, whether it's legendary or epic or blue or green or whatever it is. The pump is no longer there. They replaced it with a combat shotgun, which is a much longer barrel. And I don't know. First 48 hours I played, and it took some getting used to. If you treat this gun like a pump, you're gonna
Yeah.
fail. It's no longer fast edits to get a pump shot, one shot somebody, they're dead. Um, this gun relies on a lot different play style. It has a
Yeah.
lot of distance on it. You could kind of it's a semi-automatic, and you can pull that trigger really fast. It's actually faster than the tac gun.
Yeah,
The tac
I got some
shotgun.
hands on with it. Just me, who's a pretty very very casual Fortnite player, who I've uninstalled it 10 times. It's currently uninstalled, debating whether or not to reinstall it. But playing a little bit of it, like not a bad gun. I mean, I'm just surprised they vaulted the pump. I know I saw today that they nerfed a little bit of the drum gun. They lowered the damage on that.
Oh yeah.
And then what's that? That new tactical assault rifle too?
The new tactical assault rifle came out that takes mini bullets. That is a very accurate gun at mid to short range. With all these with the drum gun coming out and the tac gun out now, the tac assault rifle, they also vaulted the compact SMG, so no more P90. The ballers got nerfed down to 150 health, so now a heavy sniper will just blow up a baller in one shot. They buffed the tac, so the tac that nobody liked to pick up now does a little bit more damage. And there's a lot more newer points of interest. In Season 8, the volcano blew up Tilted Towers, Retail Row, and Polar Peak. Now we have a futuristic setting, tons of mobility, these slipstreams, which they just updated recently in this patch. You can now build into them. That was an issue. People were kind of taking a leap of faith and missing the slipstream and dying. So you can just kind of build into them now. They know how to keep us on our toes. That is for sure. With every new season, it feels like you're playing a new game. And just to touch on the pump shotgun, it was over a quarter of all kills. So 26% of all kills came from the pump shotgun. And I believe it. It's the type of gun that you never dropped. If you picked it up, you only dropped it for a better pump shotgun. And that is going to keep the casual players from playing the game. These one-shot kills, when someone edits a window or a wall and just pops them in the head and they're dead.
Absolutely.
So they know what they're doing. Epic is a very smart company, although they are constantly, under scrutiny for their decisions. But yeah, I don't want to spend all night talking about Fortnite. That's for sure. The Division 2 came out, or the Division 2 didn't come out.
It's been out, for a little bit now.
Yeah, their raid is what is in the news now. Whoever completes it first is going to have their team name and their team photo forever immortalized within the game. So the first people to complete this new raid, they're going to be remembered in Tom Clancy, right? It's Tom Clancy series?
Right now, is this like an in-person thing, or is this like what's going on there?
I don't have much information about it. I do know that it's taking place in the Washington National Airport. It's an 8-player raid. You have to retake the location after it falls in the hands of the Black Tusks. You'll be able to earn exclusive loot for completing the raid, ranging from new gear. Yeah, it's definitely in game. Exotic weapons and other unique rewards. It's definitely pretty cool that they're going to give one team recognition for it. I would like to see a little bit more on that, get a little bit more detail. But I know these raids are pretty popular within the game, and this one is going to give some fame to an 8-player team.
Yeah. Dang. That sounds pretty neat. I didn't really play that. I didn't play at all. I've played none of the Division 2. But from what I've heard, what I've seen a lot of Twitch gameplay on it. And I played the first Division, and it's kind of just one of those like grindy looter shooters. Pretty standard nowadays. But that seems pretty neat. At least, I mean, that's cool just for them to immortalize somebody in the game and just put them in there for completing a task like that. That's pretty just neat.
I think anytime a game development team incorporates their community within their game, like the block in Fortnite, where it's continually changing and it's a community-created thing, I think that is amazing. And just, the fact that these kids or adults, whoever wins this contest, are going to be remembered and, referred to throughout the community for a while. Very cool stuff. I know Netflix is also in the news. They're going to be attending E3.
That's wild to me.
Yeah, they have some there's some pretty big news about Netflix in the gaming space.
Crazy that those words would even come out of anybody's mouth. That Netflix, of all things, is in the gaming space now. I mean, I guess they're already taking over movies. They might as well kind of go on for a gaming streaming service or something like that.
And they're pretty popular, or they're pretty well noted that you could kind of direct the movie, like in Minecraft's story mode and the Black Mirror Bandersnatch.
Which is dope. If anybody's done that, it is fucking sick.
I've never done it.
So dope. It's really good. You get multiple endings. It's truly interactive. It is like, it's all based on Choose Your Own Adventure book, and they just kind of nailed it. Bandersnatch, if anybody's seen it yet, definitely check it out. It's super good. There was another one. I played kind of an episode of one of the newer ones, and it was the oh god, who's that guy? He's Australian. He's in the Wildy, Man versus Wild.
Man, what?
Bear Grylls?
Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a new Netflix one with Bear Grylls, and it's
You versus Wild or whatever.
yeah. You versus the Wild, and you basically you kind of like choose. So really kind of gimmicky because it's Bear Grylls, and it's like it's actually really silly. I play it as like Bear Grylls is like, oh, I could get up in a tree. Oh, this is a terrible accent. Or I could go where the fire is, and I'm like, no, just climb the tree. And he's like, oh, I'm climbing the tree, and he gets up top. And he's like, this is pointless. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It pretty much is pointless.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that you could do your own directing of a movie. What else do I have? I guess the thing that I know that you've been waiting to talk about the most is Endgame. I think we have gone past the spoiler deadline or whenever, so let's.
I'm just gonna give a forewarning. My girlfriend is watching. This is your spoiler warning. Get off the stream now.
Get off the stream.
Yeah, stop listening if you're listening to this or watching this YouTube in the future. Right now it is May 15th. If you haven't already seen it, please do. It's pretty good. Also, avoid the Spider-Man trailer. It's Tom Holland gives like a nice little 5-second clip of, hey, if you haven't seen Infinity War, don't watch the trailer. Go see Endgame.
Did you actually know on the release day they played that trailer prior to the movie?
Did they?
They played Far Away From Home prior to running Endgame, and people got really mad about it. And apparently that's why Tom Holland's made like a little clip beforehand saying that's gonna be after the movie. Apparently it was a really big deal when Endgame first came out.
Yeah, that just seems like an oversight.
That's nuts to me. Yeah, I saw it at the premiere. I luckily did not get that. I'd be really bummed.
Apparently some people did. I saw it. It was all over Twitter when people were talking about it.
Well, I know that we have a special guest to help us talk about Endgame. He's quite a fan himself. I don't know, is he ready for the call-in?
I think so. I think we're ready to bring on our first ever fourth party. Though the whole point of Discord call-ins. Let's see.
Yeah, my Discord is actually
easy. Oh, there he is.
I broke it all.
All right.
Oh,
look at that quick scene. Look at that. Look at that production value.
Yeah.
What's up, ladies?
Still, the names are mixed, but it's all good.
Yeah, I'm fixing that right now as we speak.
Nah, it's fine.
And I'm going to change TommyTimbo's name from guest to TommyTimbo as well as we're talking.
I am also Woozi.
Yep.
Follow me on Twitch.
And so
top-notch, top-tier quality.
Yeah, so let's talk about Endgame, guys. TommyTimbo, you've seen it, right?
Hell yeah. Where do we even start with Endgame? Jesus.
Well, let's talk about how many times you cried.
4.
5.
4 or 5 times.
5 solid times.
Yeah, for solid 4 times that I remember. At least 2 of them being the end of the movie.
Yeah, I would tear up and I'd be like, I don't want anyone to see me, and so yeah.
I just let it all out. I honestly, I was in the theater. I went with Morgan to go see it, and I was an absolute wreck. I saw premiere night. I mean, everybody in the theater too. Premiere night. It was just sniffles all around.
Yeah.
Just everybody was pretty sad about it. I feel like even if a lot of people that didn't even watch the movie, like you can probably safely say it just hits the heartstrings, you know. You just there's so many happy tears, there's sad tears, you know, everything in between.
Well, yeah, I think that a bunch of grown men in a movie theater crying is pretty unique. Hot. It doesn't happen very often. These things are usually saved for like chick flicks and I don't know, like dogs passing away in movies and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's true. I am a wreck when it comes to that. I saw A Dog's Purpose. Oh man, every time the dog died, I cried.
Don't ruin that. I haven't seen that or A Dog's Journey yet.
Oh, I mean, it's a dog movie. Something bad's gonna happen.
yeah.
You just know it. You just know. Every dog movie, it's like, oh, well, I know, like the last scene's gonna be him at the vet getting put down or something.
Jesus, yeah.
Oh man. So
Does anyone have any gripes with Endgame?
I have one.
Yeah.
I have one gripe.
Go for it.
So, did you guys pay attention to the comics, like growing up and stuff?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So one of my major gripes going into Endgame was I understand that they needed to dumb down some of the characters going in, like Thanos, for example. I was actually having a really good talk with Darian about this on my way home.
They didn't show the Thanos helicopter. I'm pissed.
My major thing was that in the comics, Thanos is supposed to be one of the strongest things in the entire universe. Like he could have single-handedly probably like wiped the floor.
Yeah, without the gauntlet.
Avengers. Without the gauntlet, yeah.
No.
That's without the gauntlet. So with the gauntlet, he should have been massively more strong. This is only my first gripe. I have technically like 3.
We're listening. We are.
My first gripe is that. My second gripe is something that I think is really stupid but was overlooked. When Bruce Banner puts on the original gauntlet that is the like fucking Iron Man wannabe gauntlet, when he slaps that on, he even states that the gauntlet is basically gamma radiation. He himself is radiated through gamma. So on a technical scale, that should have only powered him up. But it didn't. What it did was it hurt him.
Yeah.
It scarred the entire arm going up to his neck. That shouldn't have happened. He literally is made of gamma practically at this point.
Yeah.
That should have powered him to basically be like Hulk, fucking World Buster Hulk or some shit.
Well, the thing is, and I think a lot of it too, is they had to nerf a lot of the characters.
I mean, Scarlet Witch has been nerfed since her introduction.
Yeah, she was nerfed. Captain Marvel in this situation is basically Superman is pretty OP. That's why she only appears for like 15 minutes in the beginning and in the end, really.
I was actually really surprised they didn't make her go into her energy form.
You know what I'm really happy about, though?
I was looking forward to that.
Ant-Man. Ant-Man turning into Giant Man and literally just punching in one swift motion the hardest enemy that was in the first Avengers, I think. It was one of those like floating...
Oh, the floating worms?
Leviathans, I think, or something. I forget. Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely liked it, man. I mean, it was
a...
for all 22 films, it was such good fan service. You know, regardless.
It was.
Like,
they fit everything they could into 3 hours.
Yeah.
What's
I
your
know
third
they're
one?
gonna do the DVD cut with like a director's cut and stuff and deleted scenes, which I'm excited to see.
So my third one isn't really a gripe. It's more something I wish they gave a little more to. Was basically him turning into Ronin. Was just Green Arrow turning into Ronin. Like it was just snapped. It already happened. There was like
Hawkeye, not Green Arrow.
Sorry, Hawkeye. He literally just goes from one day being fine, family's gone, all of a sudden, boom. He's just killing people in fucking Tokyo.
Well, in the comics, Ronin is basically not the snap. His family is killed. And either way, he figuratively and literally snaps himself and fucking just starts going off and starts killing cartels and shit.
Yeah, I get that, but I wanted a little more into it. Like, because they've changed a lot going into the movies, which is something that obviously was going to happen because movie universe versus like fucking comics and shit. I wanted them to show a little more as to how he changed more, I guess. Which I mean they kind of give near the end where he's trying to sacrifice himself. But then,
I mean, do you think this falls into, like the books are always better than the movies type of thing? Is that where you're going with this?
It's just a time constraint too. I mean, I think that there was a lot of things that could have been touched on that weren't. I mean, that would have definitely been dope. But I mean, like, if they gave us the 15 minutes, we would have liked for that. I mean, They could have made this a
15 minutes
5-hour
we
movie.
lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few.
Or
few
how
of
about
my
2
gripes-
movies?
Yeah. So right at the end, so there's got to be other time travel things that like they messed up, but there's 2 things. One, bringing back the Soul Stone. Like, how did Steve Rogers bring back the Soul Stone? He's just like he shows up, he sees the Red Skull, and then like he's like, "Oh hey dude, here's your Soul Stone back," and he's like looking at like I don't know.
Yeah, you'd have to go back to Vormir. I
Yeah,
wish
he's looking
they
at
kind
dead
of.
Black Widow. He's like, "Oh damn."
Yo, can I reverse this with the stone?
Right. And then also, so the shield got destroyed, right?
Mhm.
And that was
For,
shield
like, the second time.
yeah, that was shield number 2 already. And so then Steve Rogers goes back, doesn't become Captain America. So it's 2 Steve Rogers existing. He just hides away and lives his life, lets a whole bunch of evil go down in the world, doesn't help anyone, right? Just because he wants to be with whatever her butt name is, okay?
Peggy. Yep.
And then, but he somehow gets the shield. So he makes it that far as to getting the shield. So wouldn't that be the first Captain America shield gone for forever? You know, time travel stuff's always tricky, but it bothers me a fuck ton.
Well, the way that even in the beginning, before they're about to do it, when Bruce Banner is like explaining it to them that it's not like Back to the Future, so that your affecting past realities doesn't affect your true current one. So the thing is that Captain America, somehow again putting the Soul Stone back, doing everything, living his normal life, he must have been able to just go back into the same timeline somehow, where he's able to live into an old age and knows, like, I don't know, it's really tricky, like you said, with the whole time travel, but I feel like he's just in the right timeline that he chose. There's no other real way to explain it. I mean,
yeah, no, and like it would, I think it would work out. Like I'm thinking from like a Doctor Who fan point, like here, like with like overthinking the time travel stuff, it would have worked out with like old Steve Rogers being there, like waiting on the bench. The shield doesn't work out in my eyes unless like he just like snatched a shield and then
well, he had his shield. He had his shield when he went time traveling.
Well, so the second shield.
He still had his shield and he was still in his suit.
The second shield that he has is Darian actually brought this up to me when we were going home. So his second shield is not actually like straight up vibranium either. It's like just like a fucking remade copy. Cause I'd never watched Black Panther, so I was kind of like I didn't really know about like his lore and all that. But Darian explained to me that Black Panther fights Warmonger or something like that, and he has adamantine armor, basically, or not adamantine,
vibranium.
Sorry, yeah, has vibranium armor. Literally can't do anything against it. So basically, Black Panther's like, yeah, fuck that, and just fucking he like inerts it. So now it's just like a weaker version of vibranium throughout the entire fucking world. So then now the shield is even weaker than what he has. So I want to know, is the shield that he gives like a third remade copy?
No, I think I don't remember if he had the shield when he went to bring the stones back, but I don't remember for sure. But if he did,
I can pull it up right now.
So it would be the second shield that he just holds on to, and then it doesn't really mess up the timeline because he leaves with the second shield, so it still is like, yeah, it's not like he's duplicating anything. So that would make sense. But also, God, I have one more point on this whole thing. No, fuck it, I don't remember. Oh yeah, remember when they're talking to the ancient one, and she's saying, okay, like, well, if you guys do this and you don't like return the stones, you're making all these like other timelines that split off or whatever. The only like Steve Rogers doing that did make another split timeline. That's the only thing.
Well, there would already be a split timeline too, because we haven't even gotten into it yet, but also Loki just yoinking the Tesseract and dipping, which, as we know, Disney Plus already has 2 Marvel shows, and
the Loki show is going to be fun.
The Loki show and also the new Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Yep.
So, and I don't know why, but we know that they're making the prequel movie with Black Widow. this is just my general guess. I feel that they're not going to do an actual theatrical release. I think it's going to be a Disney Plus exclusive. And I just say that because I don't like Captain Marvel was already successful. You already have a few solid hit female superhero movies that I don't think it would even do well, especially after everything's said and done. I think I just see that being
and we're
Disney
getting
Plus kind of
we're
movie.
getting, what is it called? What do they call themselves? A Force, F Force. What is it? All it's the female power team.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I have no
what they're
idea.
called. But that's rumored to be coming out.
I mean, that would make sense, Jeff, the whole Disney thing, not doing a theatrical release, because they're changing their whole game up, Disney. I've been following Disney a lot lately. They are coming out with their own streaming service.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus. So, like, they're kind of taking a big chance. A lot of people say they're cannibalizing their whole, market. But I think they're going to need some things
Yes and no.
that you could
Disney
only see on Disney Plus, and that you wouldn't be able to get the VOD of.
I feel like a lot of people have forgotten about it, but us as kids, or if anybody had it, was the Disney Movie Club, which was OG as fuck. I mean, that was you getting actual DVDs, but it's basically the same thing if you want to think of like Netflix originally renting out DVDs. Disney Movie Club basically doing the same thing, and now they're just doing a streaming service.
Well, they're saying that they're
just evolving. They're seeing the cash cow and seeing because they've got me hooked already. There's nothing out yet. I don't even know if they've done pre-production or they're just starting production on the Loki and the Winter Soldier Falcon show. But I'm already probably gonna buy it.
They're gonna need premiere stuff that
Plus.
you only get on Disney Plus, and it would make sense, for them to withhold some titles and things like that.
Wasn't Hulu just bought out
by Disney?
Yeah.
Disney decided to keep it separate and So then they're not like using Disney branding on like Hulu originals and stuff like that. Instead of like rebranding Hulu into like Disney Plus, so it's gonna be like, I think it's like Star Wars, Marvel, and all the princess stuff and all that is gonna be on Disney Plus, and then all of the other random IPs that branch out of Hulu are gonna stay there. But God, I had something else about Endgame that I wanted to talk about, and I fucking don't remember. I lost track.
I got one that Jeff's gonna like.
What?
Kill mode.
Oh yeah,
Can we talk about that?
That was fucking hyped for Spider-Man. Instant kill mode.
This is my favorite version of Spider-Man, strictly because I like the mechanical suit. The mechanical suit is just the coolest feature.
It's the Iron Spider suit.
Yeah, it's
the Iron Spider suit from the comics.
Any of the
classic one.
Best suit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it just makes perfect sense in the MCU with him, Tony being his mentor and everything like that. Going further, I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's one of my favorites. This is my favorite Spider-Man, bar none. Even though I grew up with the Tobey Maguire one, but they also. He was like 28, and they casted him as like a high schooler, and it was just, it's a Sam Raimi film. He directed Evil Dead, and it was just like a silly version of it. I don't like to talk about the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I think they're absolute dog shit. I don't care. Gwen Stacy's neck snapped is just dumb. Even though it happens in the comics, it's just like, no, shit was ruined. It was real bad.
So did you guys stay for the post credits?
Yes, we did.
So
well, there wasn't really anything there.
Well, that's
there was
the audio clip.
Yeah, it was Far From Home. Hello.
What do you mean?
That was like
it at the very end. Yeah, but the audio clip.
You're gonna have to see it a seventh time.
You guys remember the angsty kid at the funeral?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the kid from Iron Man 3.
Yeah, and he's been on set and at like every red carpet release for like the past like few movies, like since Iron Man 2 or 3, whenever that was that he showed up 3. And then we get the tink tink Iron Man's beginning sound. I mean, we're not going to have a Marvel universe without someone in a suit. And it's not going to be Pepper.
No,
she'll be in that one movie, I think, like with all the females like teaming up together.
So it was confirmed. There was in the credits the main girl from 13 Reasons Why, the first season, the one that kills herself. I forgot her fucking name. She was credited and it was in test audiences. It came out that there was a scene, spoiler, after Tony does the snap. It takes him back to basically the first scene after the snap that Thanos does, where he sees younger Gamora as a kid, and what did it cost, everything, all that stuff. Supposedly, in a test viewing of it, there was a scene with her as older Morgan in the Soul Stone in that area, and basically it was like some dialogue. Morgan
Older.
Stark.
Oh, okay.
The Tony's kid, but older. So
Yep.
it was played by the 13 Reasons Why
Yep.
girl. And it was just some dialogue between them, basically saying, like, because Tony has, internal conflict of, like, you're my daughter, you're 5 years old, like, I don't want to leave you, and where it was just kind of like, no, you can rest now, kind of deal, same thing. A lot of people, I guess, in test audiences were super confused about that, because obviously that girl she's like, I don't know, the youngest you could probably pin that girl is still high school age, like 16, and obviously at the funeral she's 5, so it didn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm curious as to see the DVD release and the deleted scenes, and hopefully a director's cut. There's supposedly a lot more footage.
Is it July that they're announcing Phase 4, Phase 5, whatever the next phase is?
So they already,
Next one, I believe.
I think it's 4.
Yeah, Phase 4. Phase 4 is pretty much, it's announced. The dates for all of the movies are out, but none of the titles or anything yet. Probably, and what happened with Phase 3 and all the larger phases when they did the huge announcements, it's probably going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. That's just where they do all the big things.
Yeah, that's gonna be really exciting. There's a lot of potential with what to do.
I really hope that Tom Holland sticks around. I've been keeping up with it. He has one more movie left in his contract after Far From Home.
Sony would have to be ridiculous. So they'd have to.
I think they have to basically renew that or give it up somehow, because
they're still making good money off of it.
Tom Holland confirmed. They asked him in an interview, like, how many would you do, and he'd be like, I'd do 10 more. Like, he is ready to ride the wave. Like, I mean, it makes sense though. It's like Robert Downey Jr. Like, you're going to be making bank. You have, I mean, realistically, just from like a job opportunity wise, like.
I also think it's Tom Holland's. I feel like Tom Holland is the perfect person to fit into this Spider-Man.
For right now, yeah. I really think you could have that huge story arc again, like we're seeing him ending high school and going to college, and I think with his Spider-Man in general and how young he is, can do so much.
Yeah, they can do a lot with him for sure. Endgame.
Can we talk about the fucking shout out that fucking Stan Lee had? Fucking driving past when they're back in, like, I think it's the 80s or the 70s.
Yep.
When it's,
yeah.
What did he say again?
Something about like hippie shit, and it was just fucking. It just had me crack up a little bit when he said it.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty funny, like, last one that they have.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a really good, like, last.
I wonder if they're gonna do the whole
Make Love Not War. That's what he said.
I hope they're gonna do the whole Carrie Fisher thing, and just keep throwing Stanley. You hope not?
No, I think they confirmed that they're done. That this would be it.
They're not gonna CGI him.
No.
So that would be so bad.
They did it with Carrie Fisher perfectly.
So my side note into the Star Wars universe for that is, like, the whole Carrie Fisher thing. She's a very important character to the story, and I understand that, but I feel like they had multiple times to kill her off in the last movie alone. And I feel like them keeping her in the story is not what they should be doing, and just CGIing everything. I feel that it is down to, like, what they want, obviously, and that makes sense. But I personally don't think that, like, CGIing the character that could have died like 3 other times, still going forward, and then having to make another death that actually is her death.
Yeah.
It just feels like they're
She's
trying
probably
to.
the cheapest paid employee of the series at this point. It's that's why people talk about robots replacing workers in the workforce. Yeah, it might cost 3,000 or $3 million, but after 3 years, they don't have to pay that much. It's all just
Yeah.
maintenance.
Hey,
You know?
dude.
And another thing, like,
Yeah.
yeah, as fucking Sam just said, her using the force in space, like the whole her fucking getting blasted out of a ship in space and just fucking sitting there and then just being like, oh wait, and then just flying towards another ship and just being fine. Like,
Yeah,
sorry,
okay.
what?
I love Star Wars, but I'm ready for the Skywalker saga to end and for this new one to this trilogy to start. But
Yeah.
I'm spacing on other stuff that I wanted to say about Endgame. But what
I
are
like the
what are
I like the idea that they had two nebulas like conflicting with each other for most of the movie. I feel like that was a
Yeah.
pretty solid way to bring Thanos from a different timeline into this timeline, where it's
yeah.
like nebulas are connected through their network and they can both sense what's happening on both sides. So I thought that was a pretty good.
I thought that was pretty sweet.
Mm.
I there's a few things that like just I just that still kind of boggle me. Like one, like Tony could have, instead of taking all the stones, which I get it, like he fixed everything, whatever. Oh, Emma can hear me. 1 second.
All right.
Cover your ears.
She hasn't seen it yet.
She hasn't seen it yet.
Oh, there you go.
I'll try to talk in an indoor voice. He could have taken like one stone, so Thanos couldn't snap. He could have taken the gauntlet and flown away. He could have, I don't know. And also, like, how does Tony not, still have like all of his suits? Like, come on, Tony really got rid of all of his suits. Why didn't he have like a million suits go
Yeah,
flying?
he's a billionaire, isn't he?
No.
Why didn't he
He's a
have
little more than a billionaire.
Yeah.
Why didn't he have like a self destruct on the gauntlet or something like that? It's like his tech. Like I don't
Mm.
know. There was a bunch of silly things that I don't know. That is it's just overthinking. For story's sake, I get what they did, but
Yeah, that was the whole thing. It was. I mean, you have to think it was the 14 million ways of whatever the 14 million possibilities, and it was mainly because of the rat. If you didn't have the rat climb into the van
Fucking
and
rocket.
get Pym out of the quantum realm, if that didn't turn on and he didn't get shot out of the van, then none of that would have happened.
yeah. I don't know if you guys saw the meme of Doctor Strange holding up his finger. He was like,
Yeah.
that's where the take one stone, fly upwards, or 1 second, I will be there. like I'll help out. But
I actually have a gripe against the Doctor Strange thing. I hands down Doctor Strange is my favorite like single movie. Doctor Strange is one of my favorite, hands down. I just love his character, and I always have. But one of the things that really irritated me is yes, he opened up billions of portals and just had everyone come in. Yes. But he also didn't do anything.
yeah, he just held up the water.
Yeah, as like
Yeah.
me and Darian were joking about this on the way home. He could have just like and just cut Thanos' hand off, or just Thanos' heads off. Like he could have just done something simple as that, but did or the ship cut in half real quick, really quick like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wouldn't have made sense for the story, and I get that. But
I think that's why they tied him up. They're like, okay, he's preventing this fucking
the water from,
the
drowning
water.
everyone.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody has their role.
Right. Yeah, they tied him up for sure. I love that the like what I thought were like, just trolls being like, Thor plays Fortnite. Like,
Yeah.
I love that
that was a pretty good
great.
scene.
I
I really enjoyed that.
I fucking love Korg. I just love him. I loved him in Ragnarok. Yeah, he's just so funny. It's the guy. It's I forgot how to pronounce his name. Takiki Watita. I just murdered that. But he actually directed Ragnarok, and he's the director, and he just voices Korg. And yeah, love him so much.
I really enjoyed that scene, because I just think that like seeing Thor drunk and just like a fucking mess was probably like one of the best scenes in that, We're just seeing them stumble around his house, being like, "It's fine, dude. Everything's fine. Everyone's gone, but it's okay, dude." It just sitting there just pounding down beers.
Yeah, fat, alcoholic, depressed fucking Thor. And I really thought by the end of it, like when he in that final battle, that like when he got whatever the thunder back, like it would just like come back ripped or something, but really it just like he braided his beard and just like put the Nordic armor on, which I'm a fan of because that's one of the versions of the comics where he's just like this true like Viking kind of character who's just like fat and just yeah. It's good. It's good stuff. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, no, I like what Nick's talking about in chat, Mooncat. The whole thing about like Age of Ultron when America literally
that was so
moves
good.
the hammer and everyone's like, "Yo, it's gonna happen."
Yeah.
At Infinity War, didn't happen. All of a sudden, he just fucking out of nowhere just I got the Mjolnir. What's up? And he just like what?
Mm-hmm.
He's just worthy all of a sudden.
And he was using Stormbreaker too, like he was saying that they
like
swapped.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I read a few things. Like some people were theorizing that he could have done it during Age of Ultron, but he didn't want to do it because of Thor's ego. Like he didn't want to like demoralize Thor, like in that moment. And I can't remember what the other thing was, but yeah, no, that was a sick moment. I got hyped for that.
Well, yeah, because in that movie, Vision just picks it up, right?
Yeah, but Vision's literally the embodiment of like everything fucking good. He's just like, I am.
You know what's crazy is I figured that would be the case, but they did not bring back the Vision at all.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I
thought they would somehow bring it back, but obviously no Mind Stone, so.
Yep. Yeah, I mean they did buff Scarlet Witch a little bit in this for a little while.
They did. I mean, it makes sense. Like everybody was just like that 5 years later. Who knows what happened or if they're working on their powers? I mean, Professor Hulk. I wish they kind of gave more background, but he basically was just like, went back into the Gamma Lab and turned into this. Dab.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, that was one of those other spoilers.
Listen to your mom.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a lot with that movie. Apparently, I didn't see it, but apparently, what's the duck's name? Apparently, he was at the fight.
Howard the Duck. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was,
Howard the Duck.
Apparently, he waddled out of one of the portals.
He did.
Do you guys have any stage 3, 4, whatever it is, predictions of what they're gonna announce or what you're hoping for? What's your wet dream?
My wet dream right now is that somehow Tom Holland is in another movie. He signs on. Somehow Sony gets their act up. Now that Disney owns Fox, maybe we'll get some Fantastic Four, Galactus.
Man, Disney owns everything.
If they can really, because that's the one thing that they've kind of fucked up. If there's any IP that's really gone down the tubes with all 3 movies and 3 recreations, well, two recreations.
Yeah, because they're
it's
so
definitely
important.
Fantastic Four.
They're so vital to the universe. Like
I know, even for Civil War, like not having X-Men and not having Fantastic Four for this, the Infinity War, like Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer are huge parts of it. And I think the next big thing, bigger than Thanos, would definitely be Galactus. It'd be perfect timing to bring in Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer because they're in it as well.
I would like to see Silver Surfer.
I genuinely didn't mind. I mean, they were bad, but also like at the time that was like we didn't have the MCU, so I didn't really care for the
original Fantastic Four movies at the time. That shit made me so hyped.
Yeah, you had Chris Evans as the Human Torch, and like it was just it was one of more of those like it was when superhero movies weren't being taken seriously. So like the Fantastic Four movies, again, you look back at them, and they're like, pretty fucking goofy.
Yeah, it was like the Doctor Doom fight and stuff. I remember, he's just hovering like in one spot. He's like, I'm so powerful. Like looking back on it, it reminds me of like the crappy Suicide Squad villain and just like standing in one spot doing moves. Like, how are you gonna stop me? I'm so juiced up. Like, but Doctor Doom would be sick. I don't know if we're gonna get that this phase though, but I
wouldn't see Doctor Doom. I think it's overdone anyways. It's the same thing like with like how they treated Spider-Man, where they didn't have to show how he got his powers again. You know, I feel like with Fantastic Four, it could be kind of that way too, where it's just
Well, that
I
stuff
have
eats up a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a weird thing that Darian actually brought to my attention was that he thinks they might start looking into doing like a multiverse shit.
Yeah.
Maybe after like
Didn't they hint at that kind of?
That-
They
that's
did in
that's
the
what Darian was
Far
saying.
From Home. In Far From
Yes.
Home, they basically said, "Oh, Quentin Beck Mysterio is from the multiverse."
Yeah, but I think that
I think that's a sham. I think in the
I think they're
comics,
misleading
Mysterio,
us.
yeah, that's the whole
Yeah.
thing. Is even all the interviews they're saying, "Oh, Mysterio and Spider-Man are buddy buddy." I don't know. I was listening to Funhouse's podcast, and they were talking about this too because they did like an hour just on the Far From Home trailer. Um, and they were talking how kind of the similar thing of, oh, it's the multiverse theory. Is that, do you think they're going to open that up in Spider-Man, or is it going to be kind of centralized? Is this just going to be kind of like a Spider-Man movie? You know, it's going to be more of like the comics where Mysterio is really a bad guy. It's kind of like the Incredible syndrome kind of thing where he's making these monsters to seem like he's the hero, but in all honesty, he's just a master illusionist. And, you know, that's how he is in the comics. So who knows what take they're going to do. It's a pretty good moment, I feel, or maybe after credit scene to give some hint or some kind of drop into either X-Men, Fantastic Four, any of this new IP that they just picked up and collected.
Are they? I feel like they must have so much planned that they didn't want to shift around, or so much stuff already in the works that we might not see a lot of that in this next phase. I hope we do, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much they had prepped already, but
I would love if Tom Holland was taken over again, like as Spider-Man, and what they kind of alluded to and what's said in the trailer, the new trailer of like, oh, somebody has to be Iron Man, like somebody has to take over. Like,
I think that in that respect, I think Spider-Man is going to, because they always constantly hint, like if you watch the trailer, they really hint that he wants to be like him, that he wants to be the next Iron Man. So I definitely think that in this phase coming up, he is going to be the Tony Stark of that group, or try to be the best that he can, which I think is a very good thing, because I do think that every group needs someone that's like.
Do you think that character can pull it off, though? I mean, Tony Stark, he can pull it off.
Well, here's the thing.
I think so.
With Tom Holland's Spider-Man, so Spider-Man is supposed to be like a very nerdy guy in general. So like he's very tech savvy in general. So yeah, he's not the level of fucking
success.
Tony.
Yeah.
Like
Tony Stark figured out time travel and like.
Yeah, he's a literal mastermind. So that like he's not gonna be the same.
I would still say he's up there, because in the comics, and when he's out of high school and is in college, and like when he's middle-aged Spider-Man, like he made his own web fluid. Like you can even see it in Homecoming. Like he's in fucking chemistry class making his own web fluid. So I mean, obviously the kid's smart. He's made his own web shooters and all that stuff. So
yeah, he's gonna have to invent something and patent it, get paid, own a mansion, have a huge basement with a getaway vehicle.
That's never really been a Peter Parker move.
I am Angry Bear in the chat goes, Peter Parker becomes Iron Spider, and then Miles Morales becomes Spider-Man. I'm all for a live-action Miles Morales.
Yeah.
If anybody's, have you seen Into the Spider-Verse? Has anybody seen that?
I just recently saw it, probably like 2-3 weeks ago, and
I loved it.
I want
pleasantly surprised.
I want a second one. I honestly really like.
I didn't think I was gonna like it. I went in just wanting to see it because I'm an overall fan of Spider-Man, and I heard good things about it. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like for an animated way, the way that it was made, like the art-wise, everything of it, I appreciated.
I hope that they kind of. So I hope that the trailer for Far From Home, the multiverse thing is just, Mysterio. It's just misleading us in the trailer.
Yeah.
But then, after that, we can have Peter exploring, like, well, maybe the multiverse is a thing. And then then we get, Miles or something. But I'm really hoping, my number one thing that I want out of the next phase is Black Panther 2 to have Moon Knight in it.
Yeah. Moon Knight is really good. Just in the comics, I liked him a lot.
Like even if we didn't get like a superhero Moon Knight, we just get like, him and like just being so crazy, and I don't know, it'd be sick.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I'm pretty sure what phase.
Fighting
I mean,
enemies.
all right. So Phase 4, we can only assume because there's another Spider-Man movie on Tom Holland's contract that's going to be part of it, unless he shows up in somebody else's movie, because that does count too. I hope not.
Do you
I
think
hope he
they
gets
would
another
waste
movie.
it on
I
that?
really want them to do.
I don't know.
I really want them to make a Carnage movie.
Maybe.
Carnage?
It'd be cool.
Did you see Venom?
Yes.
Did you see the end of Venom?
I thought you would
Because
say
the end, yeah, they teased it. But the thing is
It's so cool. But like,
they were gonna make a Venom 2 with Carnage. I think that's up in the air because it kind of bombed. Like, it didn't do that well. It's
feel like
Sony
they
just
executed it
grasping
well.
at like last Marvel IP before Disney eats it up. I really feel that.
I like how I like Carnage as a character, like who he is and like what he does. I think it's just very cool. It'd be cool to see a movie, but I see what you mean, that it might just be like a last grab.
Your keyboard.
It'd be nice in my opinion.
Yeah, I dig it. I'm for it.
Tony's equipment would probably be handed down. I definitely agree with that. I think that there's some things that
You wouldn't be
would
able to
hand
do it
down.
without all that equipment. There's
Yeah.
no way Spider-Man's taking over the Tony Stark role without at least half of his equipment.
I mean, he did in the trailer. There
Yeah.
is a scene in the trailer where you see him wearing Tony Stark's glasses,
yeah.
his special glasses,
Yeah,
and
like looking at like the energy and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I see it being a thing. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to see where Far From Home takes us, and I'm happy. I mean, that's less than a month away, June 5th.
Yeah, it's so soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of content. They're pumping this stuff out. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good time to be alive as a Marvel fan and just general comic book nerd.
So, final thoughts on
been a wild
Endgame?
ride.
Like, what was the best thing you took away from seeing it 6 times, JJ?
I
Did you
can
really see it
appreciate
this
it.
time?
Yeah.
What the hell?
It's good.
Don't judge him.
I would-
Don't judge
I
him.
would say
All
It's
right,
good.
better
I
or worse?
stopped-
Better
I
or worse
watched
than
the
Infinity
last time. Better.
War? Really?
I think so, just because I mean, I don't know. It's weird because Infinity War and Endgame, you can count that as one big movie. You know, it's part 1 and part 2.
5-hour movie.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it really is. You can't just watch Infinity War and be like, okay, I'm done. You know?
I mean, you could, but you're missing a lot of the story.
Yeah, you'd miss the.
Half the universe is gone. All right, end of
It's
the movie.
the massive. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
there,
It's the
but
massive
there were
conclusion.
slow points to Endgame. Not that I didn't like them, but you know there were.
There's 2 viewings that I've watched out of the 6 times that I skipped the second act almost completely. I kind of just skimmed through it. And that's just because that when it's them getting the stones and you know that main piece, you only really have to see the first act and the last act. You can kind of cut out that second act completely and watch it and still kind of get everything that's going on.
I think the second act was very like good because each character.
Oh yeah,
someone
that was
was
the build
part
up.
of their life that
Yeah.
involved them. Is it like Thor seeing his mother, fucking Tony Stark meeting his father?
Yeah.
Like those small, like character advancements, I feel were very necessary in the movie because like you just
It built so much emotion. It really did.
yeah, it builds around them. Like this was their life. This is who they knew. This is what it is, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
At the end. So I think it was really good how they did that. I think it was very crucial to the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that those kind of points really solidify, like you get attached to characters in those kind of moments versus like,
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, I
instead of
have a
trying to-
very hard attachment to it just because I remember seeing the first Iron Man in the theater with my dad, and that was like, just like I just remember it. It's so iconic, like the intro to Iron Man and like that entire movie. Like I love even rewatching the first Iron Man now because it's just so fucking good. Yeah, it's just such a massive conclusion. I mean, I've spent 11 years, 22, 23 movies, including the new Spider-Man, 3,000 minutes in total. You know, it's yeah, it's a big part of my life, big chunk.
Yeah.
One of my I decided my first tattoo is gonna be a Marvel tattoo,
There you
Hey,
go.
and it really is.
Angry Bear. They what's her name? What's the actress's name? Captain Marvel's name, whatever. She said she wouldn't do a sequel without Miss Marvel, played as a young Pakistani woman.
Seriously?
Yeah, she said she wouldn't do it unless they introduce her.
Miss Marvel. I mean, they could because Carol Danvers in the
Right.
comics, it's her, the daughter, her friend in Captain Marvel,
Yeah, it's
her
daughter.
friend's daughter. Yeah, that would be her. Which at that point, well, whatever. Yeah, who
Yeah,
cares?
I don't care. I think like with
If they're
Disney
just gonna
Plus-
bring in more characters, I mean, that's fine. I can only assume now that we're going into Phase 4, we're gonna get. I wouldn't be surprised if there's gonna be some lulls in the Marvel lineup. Maybe it'll surprise us. Maybe again, like Guardians. Like before Guardians, I didn't keep up with the comics. I rarely knew about anything Guardians related, and now everything is Guardians of the Galaxy. Like
Yeah.
I barely knew. I'm such a hardcore Marvel nerd, and I kind of breezed over. A lot of people breezed over Guardians of the Galaxy because they were kind of like a ragtag team. They're only blown up and popular now because of the movies. So
Yeah, we do
who
have the
knows?
Watchers too that haven't been touched on.
Yeah, because
the
that little
Watchers.
end scene with.
I think that we're gonna get a lot of maybe like movie introductions or movie moments, and then a lot of people getting little short movies on um Disney Plus or like shows and stuff like that. Like where
Yeah.
I don't know, because I feel like we do need content that's not just like kill the big baddie. You know what I mean?
Right. Which is, I
we-
mean, you've had that entire arc. You know,
Yeah.
once they announced, like they said they were doing the Infinity War arc. Same thing with Phase 2, where they're like, all right, we're doing Civil War. I really think again, Phase 4 would be a perfect time to introduce Galactus or something like that that would implement Fox, previously on Fox IP.
Yeah, do you guys think that they're going to
really
use
start opening it up.
the second snap as like how they introduce mutants? Like, oh, when that happened, now there's mutants. And
Well, again, they could be doing a whole multiverse thing, which would kind of make sense. Like, that is kind of the best way to do it. Is kind of implement it into a multiverse or.
I feel like that gets too confusing for
something.
consumers who don't watch every single thing.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, they
depends on how
should.
they explain it, because I mean, like, the whole time, like jumping, traveling shit. Like, if you look outside, like, outside of the movie, that shit's complicated. Like how they like have the stones, don't have stones, gotta go back in time, find each stone at certain times within other movies,
Mm-hmm.
and then grab them, come back, fight Thanos, use said stones, like shit like that.
Yeah, they're making like 6 movies at once.
One thing that I wish that the Snap did, but I know it will never do, is bring back Quicksilver.
Oh, true.
Will never. I was so pissed in Age of Ultron that he just.
Yeah, he just got lit up.
Hey, I'm here, part of the Avengers. Psych, no, I'm not.
Yeah, why didn't it bring him back? I feel like I saw someone's explanation on that, which I disagreed with.
I mean, he died. Well, he died in Sokovia. He didn't die with the snap.
Yeah, he got gunned like hella hard, like 30 times to the chest.
So like, what? It could only bring back people that were snapped.
Yeah, it wasn't bringing back just people that died. It was only people that were snapped, because when everybody that was snapped was trapped in the Soul Stone.
Yeah, no, like I wish that it would bring. No, Darren, what I'm saying is I wish it would bring him back. I know it's not, but that would have just been a really cool thing. That was just like he pops out of nowhere and he's like, "Hey, what's up?"
I'm an Avenger again.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, I'm back. What up?
Well, I think we had a really good conversation about the Avengers and Endgame. I know we're kind of traveling past our time frame here. Any last points you guys want to make on the movie or anything in general?
I'll probably think of some tonight, and me and JJ will just nerd out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nice, very nice.
I'm okay with that.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I gotta go play video games though.
Ooh.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming by, TommyTimbo, our first guest.
Appreciate it.
Deuces, ladies.
See you, man.
All right.
Good stuff.
And of course, our names are all confused again on our screen.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
But I'm gonna leave it that way. Yeah, I guess we're signing off. I enjoyed you guys kind of pretty much handling the last segment of the show. I know how passionate you guys are about it,
Yeah, I
and
love it, man.
and I know I look forward to having more Avenger style conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. So we're wrapping it up here. Do a little outro shtick here. We will be live again on Sunday. What time are we going to be live, Darren?
Sunday 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Sundays at 9, and then Wednesdays at like 10:30 around now. So
Do
I
we
feel
have
like
a
we should do Sundays at 10:30, like 2, just to kind of play it safe.
keep it
but-
similar? Yeah, well, we're playing it
Yeah.
by ear. If you guys aren't subscribed to our Twitter or follow us on Twitter, that's where we're gonna have all our updates.
Absolutely.
all the
We're going to be.
Also, the Discord.
Oh, yeah.
The Discord. I'm putting links in there. All the links will be in the description below. If you're watching this after the fact, you can check all the links down. We are live right now at twitch.tv/friends of the internet.
Really?
You can follow us on Twitter. Yeah, really. Really, we're live right now. Go ahead and check. And if not, then go ahead and follow. Also, for people that did follow today, appreciate you. Lanny, I don't know how to pronounce Cherokee's username.
Vladimir Harpo.
And then Angry Bear, Darian, love you, bud.
Yeah,
So
thanks for stopping by,
following.
guys.
Greatly appreciate that. Yeah, and if you haven't seen this already, the VOD or listening to it on SoundCloud, the audio version of this, all the links and everything is going to be in the description. Follow us, stalk us, watch us live. You can always have the option to be live on the show with us. We do Discord call-ins, just like you saw tonight with TommyTimbo. And yeah, man, other than that, we appreciate you guys watching, listening, however you guys are sucking up this content.
Thanks, Morgan. Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, take care. See you next time.
Bye.